morning, happy Wednesday. Welcome to Live with Liz. Today we are talking about strategic partnerships for law firms and how to use them to grow your business for business development purposes and for marketing. Now, a lot of law firms are not strangers to these types of partnerships that help grow business. Some law firms that I've worked with have had partnerships for a very long time or relationships, formal or otherwise, with other law firms. And this is the first type of partnership that I want to talk about, but this is not necessarily the type of partnership to utilize for business development and marketing. These are the types of partnerships that are often kept on the down low, that may or may not be exclusive, and that are entered into for a number of different reasons. But they can still be useful in growing your business and in maintaining your current clients. So these are often entered into with boutique firms. I've seen it with trial boutiques, I've seen it with IP boutiques, where you want to be able to offer your services and additional services that maybe you can't offer, or maybe you're at capacity, you don't have a certain level of expertise. And so you have a relationship with another law firm that can provide the services that maybe you can't. In those instances, you may or may not stay involved in the work that is managed for your client. You may have an opinion role, you may have just kind of the middleman type of role for these clients. But it can help you to keep a client, and your institutional knowledge, the long history and relationship that you have with the client can be maintained that way. There are some cautions out there about this kind of a partnership. Obviously, you want to be able to offer these services that maybe you don't. So this is the reason that sometimes it's kept quiet. You're not using it to amplify your voice or for marketing unless you're able to, because of this relationship, say, we do offer this extra service and we can help you with things that maybe you really can't. Now, there are a lot of considerations, not just for this type of partnership when it comes to law firms entering into these arrangements. Of course, you have to check with your bar associations. There could be moral and ethical concerns. There could be conflict of interest issues and a host of other things that you have to consider. Maybe there's a fee sharing issue. Maybe the third party you're entering into to help service a client is perhaps a non-attorney. Maybe in different jurisdictions, you're not authorized to work together. So all of those things are certainly considerations. And also, those types of limitations are also considerations for the other types of partnerships that you might get into. Good morning, Mariana. So good to see you. You're up early. So, well, I know that a lot of law firms have arrangements like that. This is not the one that I really meant to focus on today, but it is out there and it can help your business. It's also something to be wary about and be cautious of in certain circumstances. You don't want to lose your client to the relationship that you have with this other lawyer or law firm, for example. But these other types of partnerships, and some of my favorite, or alignments, sometimes formal or less formal, are a little bit more exciting to me. One of my favorites is when a law firm, especially in IP, aligns itself with an incubator. What's an incubator, you ask? Okay, you didn't. If you don't know, that's okay. It's really okay to ask. Good morning, Leah. How are you? So, oh, I forgot. Yeah, good afternoon. My bad. Okay, so an incubator is a place that has a lot of resources for startups or inventors or innovators, and it brings those resources together in one place to create a space where there's a lot of access to, expertise, business expertise, help with networking, meeting the right people, funding, organizational assistance, just all the types of resources that you need to take these innovations to life or to market. And of course, one of the resources that could or should be there is legal. All of these innovators and startups need legal services, may not be able to necessarily afford them at the level that perhaps they should in their current state. But there are a lot of benefits for a law firm to align itself with an incubator or a resource hub like this that's offered to innovators and startups, new companies that perhaps are not represented yet, and it can give you a lot of opportunities to gain some visibility. There's a little bit of that kind of sponsorship feeling that goes along with it. Okay, maybe your name is listed as the law firm that's available, but there's a lot more that you can do with it than just, being that kind of sponsored or visible on social media kind of law firm. You can get speaking engagements out of it. You might even be able to hold like office hours at an incubator to be available to answer questions. That can lead to business for you. And those kinds of investments and partnerships those can lead to direct business, create a sort of pipeline, if you will, a network for future business, but there's more that can be done with those. You can definitely network with the other people who are part of the incubator who just need your services as regular clients would, or who have access to even more potential clients for you. I'm speaking specifically in this case about the VC groups that are involved with the incubators. Perhaps academia is involved with the incubators. Perhaps there are government organizations that are sponsoring these incubators or hosting them to provide resources, and you may have a relationship with them that gives you access to people, that gives you the potential to pitch to new individuals or companies or entities. And those VC groups, with all of the different companies that they invest in, having relationships with them and access to them could be incredibly beneficial and valuable for a law firm to have. Those relationships may or may not be exclusive, but still worth considering. So where do you find these incubators? Often, as I said, they're associated with academic institutions, so you can check your local universities. You can check with government organizations that are related to particular industries. Maybe there are some that work maybe in biotech. You see them often in not in legal tech, but you do see them in any sector with innovation. You see these, and they can be at a research facility. They might be on campus at a university. They might be somewhere else that is central to the industry that they serve. So you might find an agricultural incubator somewhere in the middle of nowhere, but relevant for that industry. So that's one of my favorites. And I like that commercial relationship too, where you can enter into potentially a partnership directly with a VC group or directly with a university to be able to work with them. And again, not just on the pipeline, but also on that business development aspect of it, where it extends to their greater community. So, like the commercial aspect of a VC, there are some other potential partnerships out there that are kind of impressive and that make you think, oh, wow, this is not just getting me visibility, this is getting me actual work, and it's going to be great. Um, One of them that I am pretty impressed with, right? I don't know, a lot of people in the IP community who watches Shark Tank. Okay, everyone has seen Shark Tank at this point. Okay, we get that. Well, Danny, I saw this on your website. Shout out to Danny at Inventa. That this is brilliant. They're the official, or they were, I don't know if they still are, it's been a while since I looked, Shark Tank law firm for their jurisdiction. And I've seen this actually at a number of websites where they've aligned themselves with this kind of organization. And, these are, it's almost like a VC group, right? The Shark Tank. But it gives you a lot of visibility and you become this official sponsor or official law firm representative. And then you can use that to your advantage in marketing by putting it on your website or doing a social media push or whatever is allowed under your arrangement with your partner, what's mutually beneficial for you. Maybe you're offering them terms that are really beneficial to their investors, to the recipients of their investments, and that fosters additional business for you directly and also indirectly. So very exciting. And then, yeah, it is cool. I'm glad you think so too, right? So those kinds of commercial relationships are really interesting and important. But I have to say, another one of my favorite types of strategic partnerships for law firms have to do with the arts and community. And, somehow there's a little bit of a relationship to pro bono, there's a little bit of overlap with sponsorship, but let's talk more about how to arrange it or structure it in a more mutually beneficial partnership type arrangement where it's more of an alliance between two entities or organizations. So often you'll see law firms will donate to their favorite causes. Maybe you'll donate to the theater, or you'll donate to a museum, or maybe to the orchestra, but something related to the arts or something for the community, something that gives you a little bit of visibility in a place where you would find hopefully people who would also need your services, right? I think you should take that a step farther and not just make the donation, not just do a sponsorship where you get that kind of marketing benefit with your logo on it, say we're official sponsors, yay, yay, yay. But those entities often need some of the work that you provide, right? They need people to work on their contracts. They need people to work on their copyright registrations, and you likely offer legal services that could really benefit them. Now, maybe they don't have the resources to hire you as a direct client, but maybe you have an opportunity to enter into some sort of partnership arrangement where you're truly offering elevated legal services, quality legal services to these partners of yours in these spaces where you really get a benefit too. Maybe it's more on a pro bono level, but take it a step further. You know, you have this relationship with them. What else can you do with that? Well, buy the box seats, buy the season tickets, invest in them and be present with them. So don't just leave your logo up and then forget about it. You want to be in their face, not exactly in their face, but they generally host events throughout the year. They have these spaces where they welcome in the community, and the community often includes other people and companies, businesses that could be clients of yours. So you could, for example, get season tickets to the opera or get season tickets to the theater, orchestra, what have you, and then utilize those in a number of different ways. First, you don't necessarily have to go in person. You can offload them. Hey, Rachel, good morning. You could take those tickets and distribute them to your associates, maybe use a lottery system, maybe go in person yourself to events throughout the year where you get to schmooze, rub elbows with the other people who are also making those investments. And those are people who care about the space where you are. You showing that you care already puts you in a position to eventually have a relationship that extends that potential for business development to the community of the sponsoring partner you've got there. So a lot of different things that you can do to create these partnerships that either whether it's on an exclusive basis or if it's in a group basis or if it's formal or informal, and of course, subject to the limitations, moral and ethical conflict, all of that, check your bar association, ask your lawyer, but subject to those types of things, these can be incredibly valuable for your practice, can lead to new opportunities for networking with the people who resonate with the services that you provide, who need your services, and representatives of those companies who can really be the best for you. And those sponsorships also can make these entities you go into business with your champions. And that's exactly what you want, to amplify the voice of your services and to get more out of those relationships and not just kind of leave it aside and say, okay, I gave some money, this is it. No, that's not a partnership. It's sponsorship. And those are good too. They have their place, but let's make it count. Let's make the most of it and enter into these arrangements that can really be beneficial in a strategic way for your business development and your marketing. Take it to the next level. So I don't know if you have any other ideas for these types of partnerships that law firms can enter into. I've been pretty impressed with some that I've seen that are, like the Shark Tank one. This is brilliant. Everybody knows what it is. It's exciting. You've got your pipeline of business, but then you're using it for marketing. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So if you have questions about how these types of marketing type partnerships work, let me know. If you are confused about sponsorships or just want to ask the question, is something worth it? Reach out to us, solutions@firmforward.com. We're happy to answer your questions. And if you want us to cover other topics related to business development and marketing for law firms, that is what we do. So we are here to help you. Thank you for joining me on Live with Liz. We are here on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Houston time, most Wednesdays. And we look forward to seeing you, again next week, week after week after week. And just thanks for being a part of this. It's really fun. Take care, everybody.